Hey, it's good we found a place to record this.
It is, it is.
We drove all around MSU to be at a really cool arboretum and couldn't find any parking spots. So here we are.
It's life, yeah.
At a park that we can't pronounce.
We don't know
the
how
name.
to pronounce it.
Is it Wonk or Wanch?
No idea.
It is more than we have been led to believe today. So speaking of that, I had this experience in high school, and it was in a humanities class. Did you ever have a humanities class?
I'm sure
I mean, it's
yeah,
like it's like all of the arts,
right?
Architecture, literature, music, everything. And it was actually the class where I first read theology in a public school. It was kind of cool. And I went up to the teacher. I'm like, "What is this?" And she said, "It's called theology." And I said, "Is there more of this?" And so in public school is a place
more than
where
you had been led to believe.
yes,
actually.
yeah. So in public school, that was like one class where we would talk kind of at times about like theology and stuff, because it's in Western art a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And this conversation came up about whether God was a man or a woman, and I was like that kind of Christian that carried his Bible around. Everybody knew I was a Christian.
Yep.
And I DJ'd the Christian radio show on the high school radio station on Sunday mornings. So I piped up and I said, it doesn't really matter whether God's a man or a woman, but if you're asking, God must be a man because God said that Adam was created in God's image.
I can just imagine you like with your, you're like telling, Okay.
Would you like me to strike
I would
that
really,
pose right now? So let me tell you.
You are the expert.
Yes, I was the expert. So one of my fellow students, who is a woman, piped up and said, "What if that meant in spirit rather than, I guess, in genitalia?"
Right.
She didn't say that.
No.
She just said in spirit.
It takes a bold person to refer to God's genitalia.
I mean, now I would. And if we weren't recording this, I would. But
too late.
So I learned several things in that moment. One was that, well, actually, I didn't learn this till later. My interpretation of the text was just totally wrong, first of all. But secondly, I learned not to stick my neck out unless I had actually done my homework. And it was a good experience of maybe staying quiet a little bit longer and listening before you speak.
Yeah.
Have you had any kind of experience like that?
Sheesh. I am so confident that I have done this and then just like repressed it from my memory, probably from some shame.
I would like to repress this memory that I just shared with you.
But I do remember like confidently getting up at like a bonfire at a church camp.
Oh. And
sharing about how God had never sinned and Jesus became sin, and like I have never smoked and I'm very sensitive to the smell of smoke, and so God must be very sensitive to all of the sin, and so we should definitely not sin because it bothers God.
Okay.
And rather than being called on it and called out, I got like an award at camp.
Like a gold star or something.
I got a gold star for that one. Yeah.
Okay.
But this question of like who God is and God's gender and God's pronouns or whatever, it actually, as an adult, I started to ask this question, like, what does it mean for me as a woman to be created in God's image when I had only ever heard God referred to with male pronouns?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to find myself in that story. And I think that's going to be, it is a lot of what we're going to talk about today. But let's pause here for a chat question. When have you expressed something about God or anything that you later learned wasn't completely accurate or true? Take a minute and let's talk about it.